Okay, so the last thing for tonight, because this is something that you'll want to purchase this week, and do exactly what I'm going to show you right now, which is to get your Labsim up and running and associated with class. Let me first tell you a little bit of background about Labsim. We used to use all right, well, first of all, in the ITnet 101 class and the IT subclass, the textbooks are not required. Okay? So if you go to the bookstore, has anybody gone to the bookstore yet? All right, if you've gone to the bookstore and bought the books and you don't want to keep them, you can return them. Okay? There's a huge A-plus book, which probably costs like $200, right? Yeah, sure. Now, there's no way I can get this information typically out to you, but I think books now don't even come wrapped, and you should never, ever, if you buy a textbook, this is all throughout MATC, never open it, okay? Always before you come to class, because this happens all the time. The A-plus textbook, do you have it on you?
Yep.
It's a huge amount, yeah, like, oh my God. Yeah, hold it up. So you do not need to purchase the textbooks for ITnet 101 or IT Sup 102. If you want to purchase them, that's fine. I have no problem with it. I'm not going to be assigning you anything from them. Okay? I'm not going to be assigning them anything from you. You've already kind of gotten a hint that it's all the information that's in those textbooks. Yeah. Now, that's not a bad book for people. Again, and that one's a lot less expensive, I believe, right? Yeah. Well, that's where they got you coming. Yeah. To me, the A-plus textbook is not, especially unless you're a complete noob. But the information that I'm going to give you and the information that the Testout is going to contain just as much valuable information. And like I said, I'm not going to be making you do the full A-plus Testout. So what I've replaced this with is these Testout Labsims. Now, Lane said that he's like not comfortable not sitting down and reading a book. And that might be true for some people, but you're going to have to get over that. What you're going to be doing is reading or printing out fact sheets or things like that and coming into class and discussing or whatever. Or using Google to find supplementary information that you'll either find in the Labsims or the CBT Nuggets. Now, one of the biggest slams against Labsims, which I somewhat agree with, is that it doesn't go into a ton of detail, right? But again, if you have a question on something as you're going through the Labsim, you should have a browser open and you should be able to go and Google it. And then if you can't find a sufficient answer in Google, you go to Google Plus and you post the question, or you come to class on the Monday, that's why we're here, and you ask the question for further detail. You know, the other thing is that since I've been using the Labsims exclusively, meaning I've been doing this now in my Network Plus class, I've been doing this now for 3 years, in the one that I taught traditionally. And in this you guys will be the second group that I do. My ratio of people who go get certifications has gone up by at least 80%. Okay? Because the Labsim naturally instills confidence in your ability to go get certified. Because it mimics, at the end of it mimics the CompTIA exam. Okay? So it's a study tool for that. I mean, what most people would do if didn't go to school, you'd buy a book and you'd buy some sort of simulation software or something. Well, they didn't have it back then, but you'd be setting up. The other thing that's cool about the simulation software is that you don't need like a physical setup to do a lot of this stuff. You know, you don't need a physical setup to connect and do an IP config, and everything's done within a simulation. So as long as you have access to a browser, an internet connection, and a computer, you're set. Now, they're in transition right now. The Testout runs on Silverlight right now, and I will give you later on this couple weeks, probably when we get back with me, because again, I don't want to clobber you over the head. They're moving it all to HTML5, right? Which means that it would be mobile friendly. So for now, it's not mobile friendly. However, they have a beta site where you can read and watch the videos mobilely, and I'll give that to you when we get back. But you can't do the simulations. The simulations have to be done on an internet-connected PC, okay? But that can be done here, that can be done in the lab, that can be done in public library. Most likely for you, it'll be done at home, right, for you. So, again, the books are optional. If you purchase them, it's fine. If you use them as a reference, fine. But you're not. I'm never going to require you to read a single thing out of those books. Okay.
So what would you say for both of those?
I would say the A+ book, for the amount of money that you pay for it, is not worth it in this time of day. The Network Plus, if you like something to, because we are going to be going through the Network Plus. If you like the idea of having a book that you can sit and read in bed, or that you like what Lane was talking about, then I would say that the Network Plus book might be something as good supplementary to the stuff. If you're like brand spanking new to the stuff, I mean, if you don't know what an IP address is, then yeah, maybe it would. But I think for most of you, from the interviews, you're somewhat literate. So I don't really see the need. The interesting thing, and again, the way I treat the ITNet, the 101 class, is it's you learning a language. It's just like doctors, right? You go talk to a doctor. Most people, if they don't want to learn the language of doctors talk over their head because they don't know the language. It's the same thing with us, right? When I go in front of my parents and I say, they're having internet problems, and I say, well, we got to do an IP config. They're just like, what the hell does that mean? They just don't know that. So, but like my nephew, for example, he's learning this stuff, so he starts understanding what an IP address is. He starts understanding it. It's kind of learning a language. The young kids now, they're learning it as part of their just normal everyday everything. So, I've been a proponent of Labsims for a long time, especially within the last 4 years, where they've gotten really, really good, in my estimation. You're going to hear other instructors say that maybe they're like the Windows 7 one has a guy that supposedly his video, well, not supposedly he is, I've watched him, but it's been a while, but he's dry. Like, you get the complaint like, oh, he's dry. Like, he's not entertaining, or he's reading off a script. I'm like, well, in college, I had professors that did that. You're always going to be able to, the point of it is not to sit up there and do, put a bear on a bicycle and ride it around, have him ride around for you and be entertained. Part of it is just learning the content. But I've just been a real believer in that it actually forces you to do stuff. And then, much more frankly, since I've been doing it this way, I think we had, in our last group, it was a smaller group, I think we had 6 people get certified in Network Plus out of probably 12 or 13, so it was like 50%. In my traditional classes, I used to be getting one person maybe that would take it. Now in my normal classes, I'd be selling 12 or 15 vouchers. Now, I don't know if they took it, but if you're going to pay the money, I would hope they would take it. And they were passing the test. And every once in a while, I get an email, hey, I passed the test. And it's ever since I've been enforcing and reinforcing this. The other thing I like about this is it doesn't reinforce regurgitation. So this is Testout. And the ones that we're going to be using are it's on the G Plus page now. It's the Network Pro, right? And it's the PC Pro, okay? So when you click on it, if you just want to test out, you'll notice that to purchase them is $495. So yeah, you are better off buying the books. No, I'm just kidding. That's not, if you've cheated and went to the Google Plus page, right? What you'll see is that there is a link to a document, right? There's a link to a document that shows you a procedure for purchasing them online using a code, okay, that when you check out will get you the discounted price. For the A Plus, it's $89, and for the Network Plus, it's $69. Now, I believe the bookstore has these. The only one I not positive about is if they've gotten the PC Pro ones. I also do not know how much they mark them up. Okay. When you bought the Network Plus, did they give you a Labsim?
I just got it.
Yeah, it's an envelope.
Yeah,
Right.
there's one.
That's what you want. That's what you need. So if you went to the bookstore, you would have to just say, I want the envelope with the Network Plus certification. I don't want the book. And they should be able to sell it to you separately. Now, what most students do is they find it more convenient just to purchase them online, directly from Testout. Okay? If you go to the bookstore, you have to make sure it's the PC Pro one. Okay? If it's the A plus one, meaning the standalone A plus one, what you typically can do is you can contact Testout after the fact and say you got issued the wrong one, and they'll reissue the PC Pro one for you. Okay, I'm not as that concerned about that one because the content of them are the same, except the only big difference is you won't be able to take the PC Pro exam that Testout gives if you choose to. Okay, that's really the only big difference. The content of them and the content that I'm going to assign from them is the same, but it's still nice to have the PC Pro one. Okay, so that's on Google Plus on how to do that. Yep.
You can, if someone wants to save that also in the drive, in the file maker.
Yeah, but remember that I got in trouble. I used to have this on my website, and then all of a sudden, somehow public found out about it, and they were using the code out in public to get the discounted rate. This is for MATC students. So my only hesitation always is those codes should just be used for you, and while you're at MATC, it's the same codes that you'll use for Security Plus or any of the other. So like remember I mentioned that Lane doesn't require the CCNA one, but you can also purchase the CCNA one for $69. Now this one is not in the bookstore. You would have to purchase it from Testout, but this will cover all the CCNA certifications. All right. Now, and like I said, in the in-person class, Lane doesn't require it. But I've had a lot of students that just purchase because they end up liking the product and liking the Labsim, and they end up, then saying, okay, I want this too to follow along with Lane and pick and choose and go back through it if you're seriously about getting your CCNA. Okay. So what you would do is you would purchase them, and do you have the envelope? Does anybody have that envelope? It's an envelope that you get. Yeah, there you go. That's the envelope you would get for from the bookstore for the codes, and all you get is a code. Okay, so all you get is this I don't know how many digit code. Yeah, and I'm going to go through this process now with you. So what you would do is you would go to the Testout website. You would go to create an account. Okay. And so then this box pops up. You choose your country, your desired login. Now what I would use for my desired login, because remember what you put on here is going to have to do with your certification. I would just put your name dot, however you want to do it, dot, Stanislawski. I got to do something different than what my main account is. So I'm just going to put Stanis AJ because that's not my account with Testout, and I want to do it. So then you're going to go ahead and this is just a fake account. He gave me a code just to use to set it up, and then it's going to go away. So the code would be gone. So then make sure you put your full name, because this is the login that you'll be continually to use as you add more Testout products. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you'll be under this login, and then you'll have 2 activations this semester. If you buy the CCNA, that would be another one that you would activate under that account. But then come the summer, you're going to be purchasing the one for Security Pro and all that. And so all these Labsims will be under your account. So this is the account, your master account, that then you're going to be creating or registering more yeah, it gets to be a long night for me. You're going to be registering and implementing additional test out products. Okay, so this semester you'll have 2 that are required of you. So then you put your email in. I better put in something that's not associated with me because I don't want to screw up my original account. And then you're going to get a code. So now this is the code that Kent gave me that's going to be active for now, and then it's going to, after I activate it, it's dead. So it's not like if I put this out there, it's going to be dead. So you don't have to, this isn't the code you should be using. Okay? You're going to get a code from Testout. And I'm going to create it. Let's see. I think there's spaces.
So the code the envelope is what you're going to be getting.
Right. So here it is. It activated that account. Now, this is the first time you've done it, so with the code I have it, I'm going to activate it. Once you've activated one, then there's inside the software, you're going to activate your second code. You're not going to have to, you don't go back and recreate another account, right? You activate the software, and I'll show you this. I don't think this really matters. I'm never going to go back into this account anyways. Saint Sebs. Those are all wrong answers. Okay. So there you go. My account has been created. And here's where you see your classes and your Labsim. So here's my Network Pro certification. Here's my more information. You'll notice I have 1 exam voucher here to take the Network Pro, which you guys are going to be doing, which is required of you at the end of the semester. But the other thing that you need to do then is you need to enroll in the class that you're in. Okay? So what you'll do then is you'll go and you'll say enroll in class, and you'll search for me. I thought you could. Oh yeah, sorry. Duh. It might not come. Actually, it might not come up with my name because. Well. Anyways, scroll down, find me, and it's in. So here they are, right? And that's on the Google Plus a page where I list the things. So, for example, this is the ITNet 101, the Network Plus. I click on that, and I click in Enroll, right? And I click Apply. And now I'm enrolled in that class. And I'm going to be able to see your progress and all that kind of stuff, okay? When you want to activate another product, so you're going to have 2 products, here's where you would activate your PC Pro, for example, in this account, okay? And what you'll end up seeing then is you'll end up seeing, your Network Pro and your PC Pro. You'll be enrolled in the class, and you'll be set, okay? So, what does the Labsim look like? So remember the Labsim, I've had no difficulty with Chrome in the past going through this stuff, but the first thing you're always going to do is update Silverlight on your PC that you're using, okay? Make sure you get the latest version of Silverlight. And again, this computer, I don't know what it has or has on it, and it seems like it's not letting me click. I mean, these computers are going to be all redone, but... So, I'm going to... Why isn't it... Let's see. I hate this resolution. Well, here we go. This might be where I have to go. Yeah. So I have to go to library. I don't know why I wouldn't click. So when I click on it, this is now the Labsim product. Okay. So this here, you're going to be, for the Network Plus, you're going to be doing all of this. All right. Down here is the Network Pro practice exam. That's for the Testout certification. Here is the practice exam for the Network Plus certification. In class, what I'm requiring you to do is this one. Okay? But when you want to go for your Network Plus, you're also going to have to end up spending time in this. That, to my suggestion. Now, is there overlap and duplication? Of course. It's just that they're two different types of tests. This one uses more simulations. This one is just multiple choice. So these are the sections you're going to go through. In this upcoming week, which you'll notice I have on the page, and I'll reiterate this on Google Plus, is I want you to go through 00. I don't care which one it is. I actually prefer the Network Plus because it teaches you the same thing about how the Labsim works. Okay, and using the simulator. But if you want to go through both 00s, they're a little bit different. You can do that. Now, a couple of things. I want you to explore what you're capable of doing in with this, and we'll spend more time going through all this next week. There's a lot of cool features and things you can do. But for now, your big goal is to get your codes to create your account, and so that when you walk in next week, you have access to all your Testout products. Okay? And that's the big thing. And then when you guys have access to it, we'll be able to go through it, and you'll be able to go follow me through it rather than me just sit up here and demo stuff. Okay? So any questions on the Labsim? Okay? The what?
When you create an account, do we need that phishing code now? Or
Do you what?
the activation code?
You have to buy it.
Oh, okay. So, I mean,
So you either have to purchase it from the bookstore, or you have to use this form and purchase it directly from Testout, and they'll send you the code.
Where is that one?
It's on Google Plus. It's under Labsim purchase information. Okay, so it's all there. Again, you'll have time to explore this. You'll see it. All right, and here are links to the actual Sims if you purchase them online. Remember, I'm not sure if the bookstore has the PC. I think the A+ people moved to PC Pro, but I'm not positive. But like I said, it's the disadvantage is if you don't get the PC Pro and you get the A+ one, is you won't have access. Is it PC Pro? Okay, so then you can just purchase the codes from the bookstore. If you bought the books, you don't want them, go return them. Okay. I mean, now here's the other cool factor of this, is that your license for these products lasts for 3 years. Meaning, if there's an update, if they change the Network Plus, and you don't take the Network Plus, and they change it a year from now, Testout will update it, and you'll have access to it. So in theory, the products that you're purchasing, unlike a textbook, should not be obsolete even a year from now. Especially if the CompTIA certification exam changes. They usually change that cert every 3 years or so. And typically it's not that big of a deal. It's usually like, they added wireless in the last one, and they added, they're usually still way behind, behind where we really are in technology. So, but, the basics of, the next probably huge change in networking will be when we make the decision to stop teaching IP version 4 and really teach IP version 6. I'm still teaching IP version 4 because that's still primarily what you're going to walk into. And the dates that we're all going to be IP version 6, it ranges anywhere from 3 years to 15 years from now. Because whatchamacallit saved us. Network Address Translation, kind of saved us. Okay. So again, peruse all that information. Again, is in Google Plus. You haven't had a ton of time to look at all this stuff, but it's stuff that you'll be looking this week. The other thing that I want to stress about the Labsim is the other reason I love them is their support. Okay? So Kent actually is our representative. He's not like support, but you can always contact him. But when you go to their website, they have a whole support page. Okay? Support. And they have facts, knowledge-based videos, all that kind of stuff, and they have technical support. They have live chat, unlike us. Remote support, all right? So if you run into an issue with the Labsim running on your computer or laptop, don't email me, don't post to Google+, call Testout. Now, the reason I say that is because they are going to be much more efficient and effective to solving your problem than I am. They've seen all the problems that may or may not occur. They know the solutions. You will not wait on the phone. You will get they are very good at customer support. Very, very good. Okay. And when I email Kent, I get a response back almost immediately. I mean, they're a small company out in Utah, and they're just still run really well. They haven't gotten too big for their britches yet, and I just love their customer support. So I've had any students that have had issues. I've never had one student come to me since I've been doing this saying they didn't fix my issue or I wasn't able to resolve the issue. That hasn't happened to me yet. Okay. So make sure that if you run into issues with activation, with it running, with Silverlight, with browser, all that kind of stuff, always the first thing you would do is contact them. Now there's another thing that's inherent in this is when you start seeing due dates, this is one of the problems of having it on a Monday, right? Because your due dates are always going to be Monday. So if you wait till the weekend and run into issues, it's going to be hard to recover by the time, if you got to contact Testout on Monday or if you're working or whatever. So, I mean, I always think ahead. That's one of the bad parts about being focused on a Monday, because you have a tendency to do your work on the weekend. But make sure you're up and running and make sure, you aren't having any issues. The other thing you're going to see is that as far as simulations and the tests and the exams and all that kind of stuff, do you think I'm going to let you just do it once? You're going to be encouraged to repeat. Okay? It's another great aspect of this type of learning tool. I'm going to see a score at the end. I'm going to see what you did. I can see how much time you spent in the asset. I can see how much time you spent watching the video. I can see how many times you tried this simulation. I can see all of that. Okay? I know all of that. So, and what I look for when you eventually get my syllabus is you're going to see you're graded on a threshold of getting something to a certain point, which means repetition, which means you could go do a simulation and you could bomb out of it and just do it to see if you know it before you do anything else. And then you can go back and do the simulation while trying to learn it, and trying to figure it out. If you're not comfortable, you did it, but you still don't fully understand what you did or why you did it, you can go back and do it again. And I'm always going to see I can always see the highest accomplishment. So even if you get 100 on it, you want to go back, and then I did something wrong, and now I'm the 80 or whatever. I'm always going to see that top score. Okay. So there's no penalty at all. And again, I'll talk more about this week when everybody has access to it, and you get the syllabus and all that stuff. There's no penalty at all for doing things multiple times. Okay. All right, I'm going to end this.